Hello, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you also for your patience. Sorry for going up a few minutes late. Yet more proof that we are coming to you live. Thank you so much for tuning in for our second Bonfire session. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Adam Lenson and I'm a director and producer based in London. And ever since the Corona lockdown started, we've been streaming live concerts online to kind of continue showcasing new musical theatre and artist-driven work. And so every couple of weeks, it all started with our concert series Signal. Every couple of weeks, we're streaming a Signal online. And we decided that every other week from that, we would do a kind of complimentary event. And something that struck me that I've wanted to do for ages is a series of composer concerts where we get to know composer lyricists and songwriters and chat to them. And that's what the Bonfire Sessions is. So I showcase a composer and we have a chat and it's all absolutely live. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased to introduce you to our second Bonfire session, the incredible, all the way from Scotland, Finn Anderson.
Hello. Yeah, it's so nice to be here. I'm in Glasgow in my living room. The sun is just starting to go down. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, Finn. It's an amazing privilege to have to be able to see writers play their own songs, and obviously a necessity right now if you're going to do live things.
Yeah, it's a strange experience, kind of delving into a catalogue of stuff that was written for characters and for actors, and then going, how do I go about recreating that just for me and a piano, not being an actor? But it's been a fun process to kind of decide what those songs are going to be. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, let's not chat too much now. Why don't you tell us what you're going to sing first?
Yeah, cool. So this first song is called Song of the Dreamers, and it's from a musical called City of Dreams, which I wrote a year and a half ago. And it tells the story basically of a sort of dystopian future in which imagination, the gift of imagination, has become extinct from the Great Stone City, which is this kind of mythical kingdom. And the story kind of follows our lead character Imogen as she runs away from home and comes across this kind of group of people outside the city who have kept imagination alive for thousands and thousands of years. And so this is the Song of the Dreamers, which is the song of that group of people when she first meets them. Yeah, cool. Great, it's just me and it's time for a song. Here we go. You are far away from the city, child. Your heart beats fast and your mind runs wild. You have always known that you don't belong, but the people here sing a different song. The things you feel and the things you see, when you're here with us, you can set them free. On the outside of the city wall, it's our way of life. It is what we call a gift. In the dead of night, when the city's quiet, does your brain explode? Is your head a riot? Do you find yourself in a waking wonder and you try to run, but it pulls you under? We've all been there, we've felt it too. It runs right through us, but unlike you, we are masters of what's in our mind. The gift is within our control. Far from the city and far from the sound, our heads to the sunrise and feet on the ground we dance. In the darkness and dance, in the night we sing to the future, and until the light we dream. Ancestors witnessed the questions drain from the people's eyes, saw the future fade from the city skies. No more questioning, only ever knowing. Felt the beating heart of the city slowing. The gift escaped from the city's mouth, so they packed their bags and they headed south. It is here they came, and now years have passed, but we've kept their vision alive. Far from the city and far from the sound, our heads to the sunrise and feet on the ground we dance. In the darkness and dance, in the light we sing to the future, and all through the night we dream. We dream. We dream. Cool. Yeah, that was Song of the Dreamers from City of Dreams.
Thank you so much, Finn. And welcome everybody again. Just to say, if this is absolutely live, so if you know people that might fancy joining us, feel free to shout out about this on social media. And another excuse to use social media would be to ask Finn questions. If you've got any questions, you can write them in the YouTube comments, or you can send them to @ALPmusicals, and we'll be checking in on them throughout the concert. That was amazing. There's something so lovely about just the sound of an actual piano.
The sound of an actual piano. Yeah, I'm really lucky actually. In this room there's a second piano here, but this piano was here when we moved into the flat, and it's really, really out of tune. So it's sadly I play it sometimes for fun, but no one else in the flat likes the sound of me playing it. So yeah, we've got this one, which was a gift from a friend. It's nice to have an upright.
And so that we were talking earlier about your first few songs, and that song was developed through a kind of amazing sounding partnership between the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland and Northwestern University. And I found that so interesting just because America are obviously amazing at developing new musicals, and that sounds like such an amazing partnership. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, 2 years running I've been commissioned to write a musical which is basically co-commissioned between the Royal Conservatoire, the Drama School in Glasgow, and Northwestern University. They have a program there called the American Music Theatre Project, where they basically bring writers from all around the States and internationally as well to come and develop new work with their students, with their musical theatre students, who are really wonderful performers. And so yeah, a few years back they developed this initiative, which is to take a show to the Fringe, which is co-commissioned by both universities, and the cast is of each new musical that they commission is half and half students from each university as well. So it's a really cool exchange project, which means that American students are spending time over here, and students based in Scotland are going over there, and the writers and directors are going over there, and there's kind of just this international exchange element to it, which I really love.
And what was it like spending time at Northwestern and kind of soaking in that?
In Chicago, yeah. Great. I've been there now several times over the last couple of years as a result of these two projects, and have recently just returned from a month there, working on the latest one. And yeah, it's a great city, and just, you know, we talk about this a lot, I guess, within industry circles in theatre, but there's a real understanding and history of developing new musicals in America, and to kind of work in an environment where the creative process is so well facilitated has been really exciting, and I've learned so much from that. So yeah,
4 weeks is such a lovely amount of time to live in something rather than have to rush it.
For sure, yeah, to immerse yourself in a project. So the latest reason I was there was with my collaborator out on that project, Tanya Azevedo, and we were there for basically we had 2 weeks of just writing time, and then 2 weeks of workshop time, and it was basically a residency which came about as a result of a project as a result of the first Fringe commission that we did with them 2 years ago. So this was an opportunity to kind of develop that further. So yeah, they've also kind of invested in us as artists, and this is kind of the next stage of that collaboration, which is really cool.
That's awesome. And so tell us about your next song, which is from another of those co-commissions.
For sure, yeah. So this show is called A Mother's Song. And it was the first show. It was commissioned in 2018, and we kind of created a 60-minute version of it for the Fringe, and are now developing it into a full-length piece. But it tells the story of 3 different women at different points in history, who are linked by the traditional folk ballad songs, which have been passed down their family tree over hundreds of years through the generations. Each of these women is on the brink of motherhood in some different way. In very different circumstances. So Kate, who is the oldest character, is in Scotland, and she's pregnant and does not want to be a mother, is married to the local reverend. Jean, who's in Ireland, a couple hundred years later, is pregnant and is not interested in reuniting with the father. He was a passing sailor, but she really wants to have the baby, and she lives in a society where that is really frowned upon. And then in the modern day, Sarah is just moving into a new apartment with her female partner, Alex. They've never really talked about having kids, but as Sarah digs into this research of these ballad songs and these women that came before her, she begins to question her own desires to be a mother. And so this song is Sarah kind of 2/3 of the way through that journey, I guess.
And through the madness and genius of technology, we're joined live one of the students from Northwestern. Is that right?
Yes, we are.
Hey everybody, I'm Amy Prochaska, and I'm finishing up my junior year at Northwestern, and I was lucky enough to be a part of this collaboration between Finn and his writing partner Tanya and Northwestern, and it was truly an amazing experience. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this garage band kicking so we can hear the song Change of Plan from A Mother's Song. So what? It wasn't part of the plan. So what? Aren't plans made for breaking? So what? It wasn't part of the map we drew. So what? Aren't maps ever changing? How was I ever to know all this would show just by holding myself up to the light? Space to be, space to breathe, space to be and see. For me, this just feels suddenly right. So what? It wasn't part of the plan. So what? Aren't plans made to shatter? So what? It wasn't part of the world I built. So what? Maybe that world doesn't matter. People change day to day. People go where they are blown until they find the right place. Bodies change all the time. Maybe mine has just decided that it's ready to embrace the new. As I breathe a little deeper, images grow stronger in my mind as I fill them all with color. It feels easier to leave the rest behind as I go a little closer. All my doubts and questions somehow turn to dust, and I see a little clearer. This surge grows, this urge grows. I can see that tiny face, those tiny hands, and all the crazy things they can do. I can see you so amazed, yet at the same time so unfazed by all that this life can bring to you. Somewhere in the bottom of my heart, somewhere there's a fire burning. Somewhere in the cellar of my soul, the tide it's turning. Somewhere in the attic of my mind, someone left a window ajar, feeding oxygen to the burning fire in my heart. As I breathe a little deeper, I feel every day I'm closer to the light. As I look a little harder, I feel something in me putting up a fight. As I go a little further, I get just a little closer to the truth. As I see a little clearer, this surge grows in me. So what? It wasn't part of the plan. So what? Aren't plans made for breaking?
Thank you so much, Amy.
Yeah, the last time that me and Amy saw each other was kind of the last day of this process in Chicago, which came to a really abrupt end because of coronavirus, and we were kind of over there in America, just bringing all of this to a close. So it's really emotional to hear her singing that song again. I'm really grateful. Thank you, Amy, for coming to join us.
Yeah, it's this slightly strange thing about this moment is that even though we're all separated, that somehow distance is also collapsing because the only way that we can communicate is like this. So it's definitely brought me closer to people who I couldn't get on a plane and see. Weirdly.
Yeah, for sure. You're as close to people across the ocean as you are to your next door neighbor, right?
Yeah, I mean, we get to do a concert without you having to travel to London or without me having to travel to Scotland. I mean, you said something just as we were starting, which is, I've never felt nervous in my own living room. What's
yeah, it's a strange sensation to be in your own living room and kind of connecting with people, but also having those moments where you realize, wait a sec, it's just me. But yeah, it's a strange sensation. It takes a bit of getting used to, but nice.
So you mentioned your collaborator Tanya Azevedo, who's like one of your key collaborators. I'm a director dramaturg, and I value those relationships with writers so much. Like, how did you come to know each other and sort of get to almost co-making some pieces?
Yeah, for sure. So A Mother's Song was a piece that was very much co-conceived by the two of us, and kind of we work really closely on story and dramaturgy and character and all of that stuff, and Tanya doesn't consider herself a writer, but has definitely become my writing partner for that piece and other pieces that we've worked on. We met at the Fringe in 2014. I had a show on at the Fringe, which I'd written, and Tanya came along and directed, actually, foolishly, and Tanya got along to that, and we kind of connected. She likes my work, and we kind of met regularly over a while, and then I've ended up developing a project together. And it's just it's really nice when you click with someone. You have the same kind of instincts about kind of stories that you're drawn towards, and what gets you excited in musical theatre, and so yeah, we've developed four or five different projects to various degrees of development since then together.
Amazing. And tell us about like our next song, which was in A Mother's Song but now isn't. This is a little bit
it's really heartbreaking having to cut a song from a show that you really love, and those decisions. So this song, it's called Snowstorm, and the original permission for A Mother's Song was written kind of, we had to write around a very specific group of students, and we had to kind of give weight to all the different characters for various reasons, and also the slot was only 60 minutes, and there were a whole lot of parameters which made the show what it was. And then as it's developed further, some of those moments have had to change, and we clung on to this song for the longest time. When this song actually has only been cut in the last 3 weeks since we finished our development in Chicago, and watched the video back, and I've gone, actually, yeah, it just needs to go. So maybe it'll find its way into a new album of mine or into another musical at some point. But it basically originally was the song I don't want to give the ending away, but I'm going to. The two characters in the modern day who are having the debate about whether or not they want to have children as a same-sex female couple end up concluding that they need to go their separate ways. And this is the song that one of those characters sings at that moment. So, yeah.
Wow.
Are we ready for another song? Then?
I think so. Yeah, I certainly am.
Cool. Have a wee sip of my tea first. Cool. So yeah, this is Snowstorm, originally from a Mother's song. This is Snowstorm. I'm forgetting that this is where you hear me. I woke up to a snowstorm. I was gonna take myself outside. I was gonna run between the streets with my best summer clothes on. But I woke up to a snowstorm. I woke up with a sore head. I was gonna shout the whole house down. I was gonna shout with all my might, so all the town would hear me. But I woke up with a damn sore head. I woke up here without you. I was gonna kiss you everywhere. I was gonna go from head to toe, then back again and then some. But I woke up here without you. What's the use in making plans? Certainty, the greatest of man's illusions. You can plan ahead for years, but the weather interferes, and you wake up to a snowstorm. Woke up to a snowstorm. I was gonna take myself outside. I was gonna run between the streets with my best summer clothes on. But I woke up to a snowstorm. Okay. I'm getting instructions in my ear. I feel.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like a special agent.
Oh man, that song! I can see why you didn't want to cut that song.
Yeah, it's tough when even closer to the mic. Okay. It's. I'm just gonna cozy up with my mic here. It's great. Yeah, it's super tough when a song is really musically satisfying on a level, but just isn't serving the story, and kind of I feel like there's often a battle, in musicals between what's musically satisfying and what's dramatically or dramaturgically important or necessary, and kind of how you make those decisions, I guess. Sometimes music wins, I suppose, occasionally, but yeah, usually story wins for me.
Yeah, and I mean, it's for me, it's always that kind of you want moments of just pure feeling and sort of empathy and catharsis, but sometimes those moments can can slow you down, and sometimes I've definitely
Sometimes they're just in the wrong place as well.
Yeah.
Like that was the case with this. The song was sung by the wrong character at the wrong time. That wasn't where we wanted the audience's focus and attention and empathy and energy to be at that point in time. So
yeah, and I always find beginnings and endings kind of have a different gravity and sort of rule set to any other part of a show. So something that might have worked elsewhere is always, it's, you know, everyone, beginnings and endings, I find you have to work more times. Do you find that as well?
I think it's often the bit that you end up rewriting is the opening or the ending. But then there's some pieces that actually the ending has been kind of the first thing that I've kind of visualized, and then all of the crafting is going into getting you there. Like how do you get to that end point that you know is satisfying, but in a way that you've been on enough of a journey to justify it? Or yeah.
I mean, I noticed that song has such kind of extraordinary emotional communication, but you just use the word crafting, and I've noticed you've used that before in conversations we've had. I mean, do you want to reflect on the idea of like this as a craft or as a kind of hard work or tool set that you've aggregated over the years? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I think actually, yeah, I spent a lot of time kind of sort of working on my craft as a writer, mostly just by writing lots, and listening to other musicals and learning a lot, particularly about story and about playwriting and structuring of theatre and narrative and what makes a satisfying story. And kind of my composition background is really just from a trial and error place of what I like and music that I like and how that influences my writing. But I think it's nice. I feel like I'm getting to a place now where the craft is able to sort of take the craft tends to take a back seat at the start of the process. I feel like often it's like an instinctual, like what am I feel like, how do I respond to this idea musically or this moment musically, or how do I find my own way in? And then once there's something that feels like it's got the emotional impact of something organic, I guess, then it's about crafting it into something that also works. I don't know if that made any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's they kind of pass back and forward, don't they? Sometimes you just want to be pure instinct, and sometimes you want to kind of take a step back and analyze and be more sort of mathematical or scientific about it.
And there's so much about crafting a song for a musical that's so different to crafting any other kind of song, you know. And I realize that more and more, the more, you know, because so often I wish, why can't we have great scenes in musicals like we have in great plays, and why can't we have great, you know, amazing pop songs and musicals that we have on great albums? And actually it is really hard to achieve that, because the songs and the scenes have to do so many other things, and there has to be a musical flow to the whole of it. And
I remember someone saying that they'd learn at NYU that, you know, if you've got if your scene is more than 3 pages long, have a think about it.
Yeah, and that's something we really found actually during this workshop for a Mother's Song. Is there were a couple of scenes in there that when we read them in isolation felt like really strong book scenes, and we're really happy with them. But then when you see them in the overall flow of a thing, it just you find yourself, even though the scene was engaging on its own, you find yourself wondering where the song is and where the next song is coming. And it's so interesting. I would never have thought that 6 months ago, actually, that's as much of a thing as it is, I suppose.
Yeah. So I mean, one of the things I've loved about about doing writers' concerts is you get to hear, instead of a single show, you get to hear like completely different works from writers, and it proves that actually writers tend to gravitate towards stories and then suit their style to the story rather than just imposing their style on it, and that's really true. Like moving to the next piece, which is completely different to a Mother's Song. Do you want to tell us about
Yeah, absolutely. So A Mother's Song comes from a kind of place where I'm very comfortable. It's rooted in folk music mostly, and kind of then modern iterations of that veer towards pop. But that's what the story demanded and needed. And The Bowmaker is kind of the opposite direction in that it's a thing that my friend told me about basically a few years ago about this tree in Brazil that grows only in the Atlantic rainforest of Brazil, and it's an endangered species of tree in the most endangered rainforest in the world. It's only 6% of this rainforest left, and this tree is extremely rare, but is also the only known wood from which a top quality string instrument bow can be made. So orchestras all over the world, they use this wood and all the top players all over the world use this wood. And in 200 years, they've never found a replacement. And he told me about a friend he had who was a bowmaker who was in kind of crisis because basically the material that he uses for his craft, which is a really artisan craft, was running out, and he was kind of in this crisis. And basically what sprung up, the more I researched, is this incredible partnership that's happened between European classical musicians and Brazilian farmers, and I just thought there was something really interesting in there. So basically, in kind of these groups of people that you would never meet, coming together. So the bowmaker, I went to Brazil, and with Tanya, we got some funding from Creative Scotland and National Theatre of Scotland to go and meet many conservationists in the rainforests and bowmakers and musicians. And what emerged is this story, which is based on all of that research, but very much a kind of fairy tale about this young Brazilian wood dealer and this young Scottish bowmaker and their relationship, not romantic relationship, but and the journey that they go on together. So yeah,
awesome. And this song is also going to be performed by another guest star. Do you want to?
Yeah,
tell us
exactly. About her? So this song is going to be performed by Brienne Keller, and this is, she was cast in a workshop that we did at the National Theatre of Scotland in January, which was really cool. We had people from Brazil, Portugal, London, and Scotland all in one room, kind of workshopping this for a week. And this show is in two languages. It's a collaboration between me and Tanya, and also Siba Veloso, who's a Brazilian poet, a musician and composer. And so this is one of the songs that was co-written between the two of us. It's Lara, who's the female protagonist, has basically arrived to sell her wood, and she's found out for various reasons she's kind of hitting a dead end basically, and just everything is going wrong for her in this song. And yeah, that I'll maybe tell more afterwards. I watch it if I feel like that wasn't enough context, but yeah, Cheap Van it's called.
Amazing.
Hi everyone. Hello, my name is Brienne Keller. I'm talking to you from Lisbon. I am super excited to be here, and I'm super happy for doing this. Thank you so much, Finn, for inviting me. And let's do this. I'm going to be singing Cheap Van from The Bowmaker. Hope you guys enjoy.
Very, very good, Laura, very, very good. You'll be a millionaire before you're 22. Buy a cheap van, Laura, fill it full of wood. Don't bother checking if the wood is any good. Start the ignition, Laura, slam the pedal down. Show up at a funeral, very smart. Look at you, head full of dreams, Laura, living in a cloud. Where to now? Shit, motherfucker. And I hear my father's voice, que eu não paro de escutar. O meu pai sempre a falar: procure onde quiser aquilo que você quer. Preste atenção no que eu digo, vai estar sempre contigo, esteja onde estiver. Everybody wants something they don't really need. All you gotta do is get people to believe that the thing they really want is the thing you have to sell. It's a lesson I have learned and it's done me pretty well. Look straight ahead, Laura, look straight ahead. You could sell watches or jewelry instead. You sold 3 sticks, go buy some fuel. Just stay cool. Oh, Laura, you're a fool. Shit, dick, fuck, motherfucker, cocksucker. And I hear my father's voice, que eu não paro de escutar. O meu pai sempre a falar, procure onde quiser aquilo que você quer. Preste atenção no que eu digo, vai estar sempre contigo, esteja onde estiver. His laughter, his wise words drift across the sea. But you've got this, you know that nothing comes for free in this life. Drive faster, you find it, you might be driving right behind it. Just keep on the road, this long and winding road. And one day your father's voice will fade out beneath the noise. You'll find what you're meant to be, you'll find it and you'll be free. Long turn, but you never know what lies around coming corners. Goodbye to the funeral mourners, just turn the key and go. Shit, dick, fuck, ass licker, ball kicker, motherfucker, cocksucker.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brie.
Yeah, it's really, really cool getting to have people join us from around the world. That's really cool.
Indeed. Yeah.
So I saw Bowmaker at Beam, which is a musical theatre showcase in 2018.
Yes.
Which is now 2 years ago, which shows that musicals take time and go down development roads. So how far down the road are you with Bowmaker?
Yeah, so we first, sometimes I tell people that I've been working on a certain show for 4 years or whatever, and they go, well, it's like I'm not working on it all the time for 4 years. It's kind of when a bit of funding comes through or an opportunity comes through to spend some more time developing it, then it's a week here and a week there, and then you're working on other projects and kind of trying to sustain a career overall. So, but also benefit of hindsight, you come back to a show a year later or 6 months later, and you learn so much from other projects that you can bring into that, and that's definitely been the case with the Bowmaker. We started workshopping it basically immediately after we returned from Brazil. We had a devising week with the Royal Conservatoire, with their BA students, musical theatre students, in end of 2017 or I don't remember, or maybe even 2016. And then it was another 6 months before we revisited it. But basically now where it's at, we got Siba, our Brazilian collaborator, on board just under a year ago, and we got together for a couple of weeks in October last year, and we spent 2 weeks writing a bunch of songs, and he really fed into the story and the narrative, and also the songs, and so now we've got kind of a full draft of the piece in the form that we feel is like the right form for the show, I guess. But it's taken a while to get there because it's combining classical music with Brazilian percussion and 2 different languages, and yeah.
If any medium is good, it kind of has that elasticity to be able to combine and layer different elements and influences. I think it's musical theatre.
Yeah, I think so too.
Also, I really liked that explanation of it. Yes, it has been 4 years since I started, but that doesn't mean it's taken 4 years. Because I often say that to people. They go, "Oh, musicals take 5 years to make," and I'm like, "Yeah, but amongst that 5 years, you pass them back and forward and work on different things." So I think that's a very nice explanation of that career of a writer. You're doing lots of things at once, right? You're juggling.
I've lost Adam. Where are you?
You've still got me.
I can hear you again now.
Just that idea of juggling. You're always juggling many projects.
No, Adam, I can't. You're breaking up for me.
Oh, that's
maybe it is my internet.
That's okay. Well, don't worry, Finn. Why don't you move on to telling us about your next song? Or you tell him that, Bartek.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do because you're both breaking up for me now. So I think it must be my signal. I'm going to leave and come back.
I am live. Just to say thank you very much for tuning in. I haven't done any of this yet, but you'll have seen throughout the show that there's a link, alpmusicals.com/donate, which would enable you to pay a ticket price for tonight if you feel able to. Obviously this takes a lot of time and energy to do, but it feels important right now to be supporting writers and giving audiences experiences if they want them. And one of the things I've always thought about new musicals is that rather than just deliver them when they're done, it's really nice if you can get insights along the way and see them as they're being constructed. And I suppose I hadn't been using the internet that much because I'd been using venues and I'd been using concerts that people could attend. But again, one of the benefits and advantages of this moment is that it's made me wise to the idea of a kind of global landscape and a way of people tuning in and of audiences getting insights. So anyway, I'm really enjoying amid the shitstorm that is Corona. I'm enjoying this ability, and it's amazing that you've tuned in. So thank you for that. Some of you might have seen lately. I don't know that I've been talking a little bit online about what liveness is, and liveness is this. Liveness is the risk that the evening could be diverted at any moment by questions you ask or by things that happen or internet or too many people in Glasgow watching Netflix. But actually more importantly, we could have recorded this, but we decided not to, and hopefully that's gives the benefit of you feeling like you're enjoying this moment with us. And when we first started, we were getting very stressed about technical things and kind of going we have to make sure everything always syncs perfectly. But I think, again, one of the things about liveness is that it doesn't always happen. I wonder if no, I mean, so I'm just looking at comments which are probably in the past now, but the reason that he couldn't have just sung was because actually there seems to be some problem with his uplink stream. Anyway, hopefully you're sticking with us, and hopefully you're in a good mood about it, which I am, because go to commercial, says Laura McGrady, 10 seconds in the past. Just to describe the idea of the temporal shifts, the stream takes about 10 seconds to push out to YouTube, so I'm getting comments 10 seconds later than I say things. But yeah, commercial, what can I say about this moment? I mean, the next Signal Online 3 is going to be on Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. UK, and we're bringing in writers from Australia, from Canada, from America, and from London. What else is going to be happening? We're also there'll be other writers' concerts, but there'll also be other initiatives on the LP Musicals account. So if you're having a nice time, you could subscribe to us on YouTube by clicking the subscribe button. I mean, I've been watching videos where people even talk about people ticking the bell so that you get updates for our trailers and stuff like that. And yeah, this is a perfect moment also for you to purchase a ticket for tonight if you feel able to. Yes, Laura, this would be a good moment for our sponsor, Squarespace, using the code Squarespace10. Or oh my goodness, I'm getting so many masterclass adverts at the moment that I'm almost does that feel like the right move? Okay, so what we're going to do is we have a pre-recorded song that's going to be on later, and it's from Finn's musical Islander, and rather than keep you waiting for any longer, we're going to give you a look at one of Finn's songs pre-recorded from the live performance that happened a while ago. So we're not being irresponsible of Islander. So we're going to switch to that now, and see you in a bit.
I've not got long. How's your distance learning going? Just fine. Good. Great. That's great. Your gran said you're getting top marks. You spoke? Yeah, yesterday. Right. Is she? What? Okay. Fine. There's lots going on with the vote and... You said you spoke. We did, but... Ailey, I can't... Frozen. Can you see? Can you hear? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you...
Hey everyone, I'm back. That was a clip from Islander. Good news, I think things are heading in the right direction technically. Finn has rebooted and will be back with us soon. So in the short term, if anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to paste them in the live chat and I will answer them 10 seconds after you send them. Where did I get this jacket? This isn't a jacket actually. This is a shirt, but it's made of different plaid shirts, and it's from Urban Outfitters. Thanks for asking, Matt. It's like a multi-seed bagel of a shirt. Is there a cost recording? I'm gonna save that for Finn, but it's definitely gonna ask it. Thanks, Jennifer or Alison. That is indeed a lovely song. I think Finn's coming back.
You can hear me now? Cool. I'm sorry about that,
no,
folks.
not at all. Welcome back.
My computer had a bit of a panic attack there.
No, I mean, I think in good news, if we were in an audience and then we were in a room with actual people would kind of applaud now that we got the sound system back and working. So sure. Feel free to flood the comments with emojis.
But
yeah, we got exciting.
An Islander video in the meantime.
Yeah, tell us about Islander. Everyone loved that video. Looking at the comments,
cool,
someone's asked if there was a cast recording.
So there is a cast recording in the works, which is exciting. But yeah, Islander was a show co-created by myself and Amy Draper and Stuart Melton, and originally devised with those two as well, Kirsty Finley and Bethany Tennick. And yeah, it was a whole kind of folk tale written entirely for just two voices and bodies and looping technology. So there are no instruments at all. They create this all of the sound effects and all of the music live on stage just through their bodies and voices and looping and effects.
And like, who did you have that idea?
So it was kind of a collective effort in that Amy came to me and Stuart. She had this idea for a piece set on an island. It was very early stages. She was interested in conflict around the island and in themes of kind of home and island identity. And she was really interested in it being an a cappella musical. And then we connected with Helen, the producer, and we talked about creating something that could be small scale and that could tour around kind of non-theatre venues. So its first tour was around the Highlands and Islands of Scotland, to kind of town halls and schools and all sorts of different spaces. So we wanted to create something that was also really self-contained. And so, yeah, I kind of thought about the a cappella musical for two actors thing and very quickly went, okay, we need some kind of technology to make that interesting for me as a writer and for an audience. And so I'd been interested in looping for a while and interested in that within a musical theatre context, and that's where that came from.
You told me that there was a production of this, and then a year, and then another production, and the show kind of changed and developed, and originally it was devised in 3 weeks. Tell us a little bit about the journey of the show, I suppose.
Yeah. So it was really devised process to begin with a lot of ideas from Stuart and Amy and Kirsty and Beth, and it was really kind of created around them as performers, drawing a lot of influence from kind of Celtic folk music and folklore, and also the island that we were on. So we went to the Isle of Mull, which is a Scottish Hebridean island, and we devised the piece on the island. So we met with local islanders and we kind of just soaked in the whole atmosphere of the island and drew a lot from that world, and brought that into the room, and we would devise every day, and me and Stuart would go away and write in the evenings. And then it went on a tour. That kind of first version went straight out on tour after 3 weeks. And then we had an opportunity to present it at the Fringe, and we went, great, this is an opportunity to kind of craft it into something that we're a little happier with, and it's had a bit more craft put in, I guess. The heart was there, but we wanted to recraft some things.
So again, there's like that interplay between kind of like instinct and kind of improvisation and devising, and then craft and passing back and forward, I suppose.
Yeah, it's always a conversation, I think, between those things, isn't it? Yes, like if you created something purely by numbers with no heart and no kind of impulsive decisions, or then it would just feel like a cookie cutter formulaic piece of theatre. I mean, we've all seen some of those, I guess, as well.
Yeah. I think so, and it's I think more than ever the thing that's exciting me about musical theatre is that it is becoming more artist driven. So artists are about to say, this is what I want to put into the world, and this is what I want to see, and this is what I care about, and I want to share that with other people.
And what's really cool about that piece is that it was the idea of the director. Amy conceived the idea and then kind of brought a team together, and there are so many different ways for a musical to be born, and that's exciting.
So should we go back in time before the internet failed us?
Yes.
Our second song from Beam. I was just talking to you about the fact that I was asking you about the root of that piece, that and about this next song. Yeah, you probably did cover that.
So the Bowmaker we're delving back into the bowmaker world, and it follows two characters. One is a young Scottish bowmaker whose father has just died, and left him this business. And then he discovers that this wood is running out and that he's not going to be able to live up to his father's name, and he's not going to be able to carry on this business. And Lara shows up at his doorstep with illegal contraband wood that she is trying to sell him, and that is how their relationship starts. Lara ends up staying the night because her van breaks down, as you've just seen. And my mum sent me a text saying there was so much swearing in that song. I'm sorry, Mum. Her van breaks down, and so she ends up staying the night in Oscar's house, with Oscar's mother's kind of encouragement. And this song happens during the night. Basically, Oscar is contemplating how he can carry on the business, and he's talking to his father's kind of portrait on the wall, and resenting the pressure that has been left on him. And Lara is discovering that maybe bowmaking and this magical world of classical music might be something that she is excited by. So it begins as Oscar only, and then halfway through I'm going to switch character and become Lara for a verse, and then the very final chorus we go back to Oscar again. This house is an old house, always was a cold house. This house is a dark house, born to leave your mark house. And this house is a dead house, so much left unsaid house. 'Cause this house isn't this house without the sound of your expectant feet on the dusty floorboards. This house is a proud house, quitting not allowed house, a stressed house, a never rest house, work till you're the best house. But this house isn't this house without the foul smell of stale red wine on your neck tongue as you breathe down my neck. Tell me, what do you expect me to do? Hey, this was nowhere in the lessons I learned from you. Hey, don't look at me like that. You're the one who left us here alone in this house. And Oscar's mum is putting Rosalie to bed and tucking her in and turns off the light. And then when Rosalie goes to bed, Lara creeps down the stairs and explores the house. This house is a tame house, a fancy name house, hungry for fame house, a following flame house. And as Lara walks around the house, the portraits of the classical musicians on the walls come to life. Imagining a string quartet here. beneath the noise, you'll find what you're meant to be. You'll find it and you'll be free. A flame of your very own, just meant for you and you alone. Burning red and gold, it sets your soul on fire. No way to become the maker you hoped I'd be now. No way to fulfill the dreams you had for me now. Don't look at me like that. Say goodbye to all your years of pride in this house. Cool. Okay.
Okay, we're just getting instructions.
Sure.
That's
Sorry,
hence the
more,
pause.
Instructions in my headset.
So Bo, just a reflection. I mean, this might just be something I say all the time, but like, musicals are so good at time, at dealing with themes of time, and already I've noticed in a lot of your shows, like the theme of time and different timelines, and comes up. I just wondered if you had any reflections on that.
No, that's really interesting. I definitely I definitely noticed that I gravitate towards kind of stuff that speaks to multiple generations, or stuff that, you know, relationships between different generations, whether that's people in the past or just intergenerational relationships. Yeah, and time. Yeah, no, it's interesting that you say that, I guess. Because a story is just sort of showing us a moment in time, but I'm always really interested in how any one particular story at one specific moment in time can also speak to different times, and how characters can maybe be influenced by people that they've never met, or things that never happened to them personally, and kind of how that can inform their journey. Yeah,
I mean, both of those ideas of, like, you know, when someone says like a ripple, creating a wave, that always has like sound connotations, as does kind of like the idea of resonance, the word resonance. And I do think music is very good at as you say, like creating kind of unseen vibrations in other stories or characters from that are kind of like located side by side. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Can I just double check with Bartek before the next song that you want me to turn this one down, the one on the piano?
Turn the piano input down a little.
As in, not this one, the other one. Great, perfect. I've done that. Perfect. Sorry, Adam.
No, so we're gonna go right back to the beginning and the first professional show that you wrote songs for.
Yeah, this was the first professional show that I wrote. So I took this show to the Fringe with a group of friends on a sort of just like friend basis, and so I kind of started out making musicals by doing everything, by kind of writing, directing, producing, performing in, and then slowly over time I've given, you know, each of those tasks away, and kind of becoming more and more of a writer and a composer over time, and digging into those crafts, I guess. But for this show I was doing a lot, and we took it to Edinburgh, and it was what it was. I was 18 when we took it to Edinburgh. Wow. And then I moved down to London, and then in 2013 partnered with Interval Productions, who are a company developing new musicals at that time, and two writers, Tori Allen Martin and Sarah Henley, who basically rewrote the book that I'd originally written, set it in London during the London riots, and I wrote a bunch of new songs, and we kept a bunch of the old songs, and it became something very different. So it was really cool. That was the first time I'd ever worked with other writers, and the first time that I'd realised that, you know, a musical could be reinvented in that way, I guess.
And just like quickly, obviously, if this is happening when you're 18, or, you know, not long after, what got you into musicals? Like, what gravitated you towards this form?
Yeah, I'm very privileged that my parents were involved in theatre when I was younger and took me to see things at the theatre when I was younger. And I was really interested in creating plays and theatre from a very young age. You know, very informally, I would invite the neighbours round and print tickets off and take all the lamps in the house and create some kind of lighting design and put on plays when I was very little, and that evolved into writing scripts. And then I saw a musical. I remember two distinct musicals I remember seeing at a really young age. One was Into the Woods, and the other was randomly a show of Dr. Dolittle starring Philip Schofield. And I just remember at a very young age being really excited by kind of music and dance within theatre, and so I started writing songs to put in my scripts, and that was where my kind of songwriting practice came from. And then over time that's developed into a practice of its own as well. But yeah, so kind of what, you know, I was writing musicals and developing them with friends at a very young age, you know, my teens, and supported by school to do that at lunch times or whatever, and that's kind of just evolved into a job over time, which I kind of have to pinch myself and feel very grateful for. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, let's hear your song from Streets.
Cool.
Set it up.
Nice. Yeah, so this is a song that was a new song for the London production, and it's quite a straightforward love song between the two protagonists. It's called 300 Feet, and I'm singing it in a much lower key than it was written in, because it was written for incredible, amazing pop singers, and I can't do it justice in that key. This is 300 Feet. Your cheek is warm to the touch, too much of me needs you. You speak again, there's that rush, but who are you rushing to? I hear you talk, but I don't know if it's you or the drink that's talking. We kept stalling, we knew it was dangerous, but I'm falling for you, and now there's nothing but us. You try to run, but you don't know what you're running from. Can't spend the rest of our lives sitting on the rooftop, looking at the city lights from beautiful heights, waiting for the day when I can look into your eyes and not have to hide. 300 feet above ground, 300 feet. Your hand is cold on my skin, now we're in too deep. On the rocks wearing thin, but there's nothing to keep us from this kind of high. Tell me, why can't we spend the night and the rest of our lives sitting on the rooftop, looking at the city lights from beautiful heights, waiting for the day when I can look into your eyes, a beautiful sight. 300 feet above ground, 300 feet. Taking 2 steps forward, then you turn around, take 2 steps back. Need to know you're with me. Want to shout your name from the highest rooftop, then I wanna turn and not look back. Need to know you're with me here now. And above ground, 300 feet, 300 feet above ground, 300 feet. I don't remember how it ends. That will do for now.
For me,
Cool.
we just had a comment. I think this with every single song, but this one is my favorite from HON.
That is a nice comment.
That was a beautiful song. It's just struck by how lovely it is to be to be with you in your lounge basically, and just to hearing a real piano, and it's been such a privilege.
Yeah, this whole time has made me very, very appreciative of the fact that my art form is one that I can still do from home, and that I can still engage in from home. You know, directors like yourself, like it's very tough to continue honing your craft and continue.
Direct actors, really. I can't direct shows without being in a room with people. So, but I suppose I'm taking the moment to, well, do this, but also to develop work, because writing and dramaturgy and can sort of happen at this time. I mean, it doesn't feel like a writer's retreat, that's for sure. But yeah, how are you finding making work at this time?
Yeah, it's been up and down. The first couple of weeks, I was honestly just feeling really relieved to not have any deadlines in my life, and I found that I've written a lot of songs in that time, and was feeling very creative suddenly, not having the, you know, when writing becomes a career, it feels like I spend my whole life often chasing deadlines, or it's kind of, you know, it becomes very, very much like someone is always asking something of you, even, you know, or projects you've set up, but you planned those projects 6 months ago, so it's not like you wake up and go, what do I feel like writing today? It isn't like that, you know, your calendar's been filled for so long, and it's been really nice to actually wake up and go, okay, what do I feel like writing today? And that it's interesting what that's been, like what emerges. And a lot of that has actually not been songs for musicals at all. It's kind of just been me kind of processing this moment and all that. But yeah, but then it's gone in waves, you know, and there's also really difficult elements to this time as well, and not being able to see family and people losing their loved ones, and kind of just also processing all of that and working out how to be creative amidst that. I think it's really important not to feel the pressure to be productive. This is, somebody sent me a thing, you know, if you don't get to the end of lockdown and you've not, you know, started a new habit or got fit, or, you know, but actually, you know, you are a normal person if you get to the end of lockdown and you haven't achieved lots of things, you know. It's a scary time in many ways too. So.
I know. I remember when we first spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you were saying the sort of the thing that this is offering creative people is the ability to just stop with the overwhelm. The overwhelm of having to be in 15 places at once. Of course, that comes with its trials and problems, and we're all trying to figure out how this all works. But just remember that thing you're saying about just like trying to live each day. And yeah, this has been a really lovely way to spend my day, so thank you. It's been so nice talking to you.
Well, you kind of get forced to be in the present, don't you? Because none of us know what the future holds, and all of our plans have been whisked away from under us, and so it's quite an awakening in terms of, you know, all you really do have is the present moment. It's such a cliche, but I feel like I've woken up to that even more now than normally. Yeah.
Well, it's we're on to our last song. I just want to take a moment just quickly to thank Bartek Podkova, our technical wizard, our stream producer. Making stuff live takes time and energy, but I personally think it's worth it, because it kind of brings us all into this experience together in this strange time. So I'm grateful for him to carry on working with me on that. Thank you for Finn for giving up your day and your evening. Thank you to
thank you for having me.
Our amazing guest stars, Amy and Brienne, and also to the cast of Islander and producer and team of Islander for letting us use that video. Yeah, if you'd like to pay a ticket price, don't feel compelled, but obviously if you can and you've enjoyed this evening of entertainment, you can do so at alpmusicals.com/donate. You can follow what we're up to next at ALP Musicals everywhere, and if you want to subscribe to the channel, we're going to be doing something at least once a week for the foreseeable future on our YouTube channel, and not just something live, a live concert of artist-driven new musicals from all over the country and indeed all over the world. Yeah, you can also look at this concert and our other concerts and other things are on a website I've made called thebonfire.uk, where you can see a bunch of sort of more digital oriented content. All right, that's that stuff. Tell us about being in boxes and changing to becoming a singer-songwriter.
So when I was in my teens and I was writing musicals, and I was 14 and I had a musical on in the local local town hall, and it really wasn't very cool to be writing musicals when you were that age at high school. I ended up kind of giving that up for a bit, and in that time what ended up happening was just writing songs for myself, and that kind of like songwriting practice developed as a sort of teenage coping mechanism of being creative in a time where musical theatre wasn't the thing I wanted to create, and since then that's kind of carried on. I've been doing both together since then, and both very different practices, but both give me a lot. And I love singing and writing about my own life, and sharing songs with an audience, as well as sitting in a theatre and watching other performers sing my work. So and yeah, for a long time I feel like I had to sort of draw a wall between those two things. It feels like being a jack of all trades. That was a fear of mine, and so many different fears that pop up, I guess, when you're working out who you are as an artist. But yeah, I really enjoy both for different ways.
Yeah, and like obviously writing for character is different for writing to yourself. You've sung a lot of songs written for characters, but this one you write knowing you would sing it.
Yeah, and that's really different. I think it's different in that you're writing for your own voice, but also it's a very different process because nobody's dictating what you need to write. You don't need to get from A to B. You are literally just musing around a theme or a feeling that you're having, and it can kind of end up being anything. Whereas in a musical, I pretty much never start writing a song not knowing what the beginning, middle, and end needs to be, and what the journey of it needs to be, and what the musical tone of it needs to be. And that, I think that writing with those kind of parameters makes you a better songwriter. But it's also really nice just to sit down and improvise at the piano and be like, oh, okay, this is going there. That's fun. And it keeps it alive in different ways.
Have you found, as you've done more singer-songwriter work, that you've found that that's kind of feeding back into your writing of musicals a bit?
Massively. I think the way that it's feeding back the most is that I think I'm learning to trust my own sort of voice and my own musical instincts, rather than trying to sort of adhere to what musicals I've heard in the past or what people expect musicals to sound like. Or and certainly as I've delved more into folk music and Scottish folk music and the music that inspires me, that's found its way into pieces, and that's actually influenced what stories I've then chosen to tell as well. And so they definitely influence each other. I would very rarely, I've actually never managed to put a singer-songwriter song into a musical and it work. So I would tend to find that the songs I write for myself don't tend to suit other characters, or don't, because obviously they're not written for that moment. But yeah, they do inform one another.
And I'm sure you wouldn't mind me saying that your solo album as a singer-songwriter is on Spotify and streaming services from last year.
Yeah, so I released my first full-length album as a singer-songwriter last year with a band and a great bunch of musicians and collaborators. It's a 10-track album. It's called Until the Light, so that is out on Spotify and wherever else you get your music. If you would like to go and have a listen, please do.
Awesome. Well, it's been so nice talking to you and so many pearls of wisdom, so thank you. And
such a pleasure.
Just to say to our audience that though you have been privileged to see it live, this concert will remain streamable. So if you've got friends who missed out or who might enjoy seeing it in the coming days, with the ability to skip over my time-holding waffle in the middle, you can do so. You can send them to this link and they'll be able to find it. Awesome. If you had a nice time, tell people. Brilliant. I'm going to stop waffling and I'm going to...
And if you didn't, don't.
Yeah. So thanks everyone. I'm gonna leave you with the incredible Finn Anderson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cool. Thank you, Adam. Yes, I'm getting more special agent instructions. 2 seconds and I'll be with you. Okay, do you want a wee sound check then? Da, da, da. What's that? Playing a very loud chord. Down even more. And again. Okay, this is our last track. yeah, they're both the same at the same level. Great. Thanks everybody for your patience. And yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. This is a song that's not on the album actually. This is a newer song, which I wanted to share. Yeah, it's sort of about coming out of a period of feeling like you've been wounded in some way romantically and are not ready to leave that place, and then meeting somebody who maybe changes your mind about that. And the song is called The Garden. I'm going to take my headphones off to sing this one. There's a garden. There's a dark and wild. Through the trees live voices from my childhood. Tell me not to run too quickly, 'cause anymore I may fall down. Tell me not to climb too high or to swim too deep in case I drown. So I'll be lying low, trying not to love too closely, trying to let it go, to keep out of the light. But it's lonely, trying not to let down my heart. I wanna feel it all before I lose my fight. Before the feeling's hard, and will you come tonight? Will you meet me in the garden? There's a white and open sky, stretching on forever. All my ghosts fall from my eyes, flowing like a river. I've been needing to go there lately. I've been needing to find release. I need somebody who will take me to find the missing piece. 'Cause I've been lying low, trying not to love too closely, trying to let it go, to keep out of the light. But it's lonely, trying not to let down my heart. I wanna feel it all before I lose my fight. Before the feeling's hard, and will you come tonight? Will you meet me in the garden? Love is a touch, love is a taste, love is a trail you follow wherever it takes you. Love is enough, love is a nest, love is a storm you weather, even if it breaks you. Love is a hand, love is a heat, love is a thing you can't explain till you've been near it. Love is a mist, love is a myth, love is a bedtime story told to those who hear it. And I've been lying low, trying not to love too closely, trying to let it go, to keep out of the light. But it's lonely, trying not to let down my heart. I wanna feel it all before I lose my fight. Before the feeling's hard, and thank you folks so much. No, I don't have anything to add. So good night. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week.